Oh, oh, he got me. He got me. Let's get these little kids. There we go. And we'll get. We're in Mielno now, as you can see from back there, and this is on the Polish seaside. We're in the north. We're on the Baltic Sea. I'll say a little bit more about what countries are around there later. And so we're on the Polish seaside. I never heard of this city until yesterday, literally. And it's a city that's a small little town of about 3,000 people. It's really just kind of mostly farms around, and I think the industry is mostly around, people coming here. And honestly, it's really kind of a little crazy place. So I'm gonna show you guys around. I scouted it out a little bit, and I found some really interesting stuff. So you can see over here, there's a town called Lazy, just 11 kilometers that way. Dzień dobry. So here is the Cafe Pukusa, and I would be a little worried about eating here because look at this guy. Presumably the guy that cooks all the food there is standing right in front of it, and I'm really not sure that I could trust food from this guy cooking without getting food poisoning. On another note, this is the one way we know for sure that we're in Poland because there's a Biedronka nearby. So here's something I found kind of interesting that's actually in a lot of places around here. So professionalne alkomat, and this is a breathalyzer. This is just to see your blood alcohol level, and there's a ton of these around this place. And here we have a life-sized chess set, of course being played by the masters of chess till they're at least grandmaster status right now, and the judges making sure that they don't break the rules. Not sure what this is. This tractor trailer with a little house on the end. Yeah, who knows? So we have some carnival rides, and I think I saw bumper cars up ahead. So I might see if I can go on the bumper cars, because that's my favorite one. I do like jumping also, but even that like little kiddie spinning ride, I mean, that might be too much for me right now. And this is another way we know we're in Poland. Listen to this music. This is Disco Polo. We can play the carnival game, and it's a crazy type of music called Disco Polo. And it all sounds the same. Basically, the music videos, they're full of guys that look kind of like potatoes, some girls that are kind of attractive but in a very specific type of way, and doing terrible dance moves that even I could do. So we might hear a little more Disco Polo while we're here. And up there are, I think, is the bumper cars. So I'm gonna go check out and see if I can do that. Yeah, this never gets old for sure, even at my age. Oh, let's see if we can get them. Oh, barely. And oh, he got me. He got me. I think we're gonna get these ones. Oh, and there. Oh. Oh, he got me. Oh, once it's over. So this is more what I was talking about earlier, the Disco Polo, Wiejska Zabawa. So it's a crazy music. They're playing a koszykówka. Dzień dobry. Koszykówka, tak, bardzo lubię. Lubicie Disco Polo? Ja, bardzo lubię.
Cały dzień tu lecił na
Co dzień? Wiejska Zabawa? Lubisz Wiejska Zabawa? Potupaja? So to me, this is something a little mysterious. So we have a 9D cinema. I'm not really sure what that could mean. Maybe it's like a string theory thing, you know. String theory needs 11 dimensions to work, so maybe it's like less advanced in string, you know, what you need to understand string theory, but it's not open now, so we can't really figure out what it is. There's only one other country where I've seen things as high as like 70 or 90 or something like that, and I'm not going to mention that place right now. Big crowd of people here around these cars. Yeah, so they have some interesting cars here. We got that. We have a Fiat over here. I'm kind of looking for a black Volga. I don't think I'm going to find one. That's yeah, another Polski Fiat. Black Volga is a sign of KGB in Soviet times, and I saw that in Kharkiv, but I'm not seeing one here. Oh, looks like I'm not the only one making a video there. It's like they're doing something. Except he has a much fancier camera than I have. All right. So here's some sort of nightclub here. I'm pretty sure it's closed because in Poland in general, they have not yet opened up the nightclubs and the dance clubs and all that yet. But over here, we have some kind of strange stuff. Okay, so this looks nice. And, you know, if you don't really look too closely, you don't really notice what we really have here. That's kind of unusual. So, for starters, and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more for this. So this place here, look at this. Oh, okay, it's missed, so let's wait 1 second. Oh, really? See that? This is part of why I'm saying this place is maybe a little bit out of date. This was this meme from like 2003 or 2004, the thing with the owl, where, you know, if you're saying something on a message board, you just post and reply if you just want to kind of mock the other person's opinion. Like back in 2004, I remember I was posting on the bodybuilding.com forums and people were just using it all the time and it was just totally maddening. So given that, okay, I guess it's probably 2004 right now in this city, I guess maybe in a couple years they're gonna start watching Hannah Montana. It's probably 2 years from now in 2022. And I really don't want to tell them about the wrecking ball that's coming up. So they'll have to find that out a little later. And over here, this is also kind of funny too. So this is, so if you look at that right there, that's another breathalyzer test. And look at the guy up there. That's what we know is a Joule in Poland. Even has the teeth missing. So if you look like this, I guess this is the sort of place you can go and get a drink or eat something. And so it was a little funny to see that. And this is, of course, the nightclub. And we're going to start heading back towards the beach now. Okay, we are approaching the beach. So just to remind everyone that, you know, we're on the Baltic Sea. And Baltic Sea touches a lot of countries. So there's Poland, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia. Russia too. There's actually a tiny little bit of Russia that's right next to Poland. It's kind of interesting, called Kaliningrad. I'll maybe show it on a map. It's really separated from the rest of the country. This sea, it's very cold and it can get a little wild. So I think I checked and there are some waves that go up to, I think 15 meters might be the record. So there's no hurricanes or anything here, but there might be some chance to surf if that's what you're going for. But the water's ice cold, so I don't know. I heard numbers like maybe 45 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe something like roughly 5 degrees centigrade. So we're gonna walk out there. I'm not going to jump. I'll put my toes in, and it's just gonna be, like I said, freezing cold. And I'll show you kind of the direction of some major cities. So we are getting to the beach right now. And you may immediately notice some differences with American beaches, or really beaches anywhere. Notice these strange construction, like these contraptions that people put up around them. And there's a bunch of them over here. I'm told that the name of this is a paravan. And what I was told, I can't, personally verify this. What I was told is it's just basically to keep you from really having to look at other people or other people from looking at you. So it's maybe kind of a sort of antisocial thing. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen it in any other countries. And I thought that these were also interesting too. So if you look at these big like jacks or something, I'm not sure exactly. But what I was told is that this is to protect the area up there from when there's a storm. That you can imagine, like, if this water starts getting really crazy and surging up, that this is going to protect it somehow from up here. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but this is what I'm told. So obviously it's a bit windier here right now. And the closest city actually from here, roughly in that direction over there, is Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark. And we can kind of go this way a little bit. And Stockholm is roughly in that direction, so the capital is Sweden. And I mean, I don't know about anyone else, when I hear Sweden, I think of Ace of Base or maybe Army of Lovers, just because I'm a big Beavis and Butthead fan. But I know, of course, there's many other things going on there now, and I haven't been to either of those places, but if you go that general direction, you go to Helsinki, the capital of Finland. And that's actually the northernmost place I've been right now. I was there last September. So this goes on for a while. You see there are all these paravane that I was talking about earlier. And I'm going to dip my toe in here, and no more than that. And let me make this not as wide angle. So, I have right here. And oh yeah, that is freezing cold water. Oh, let's get in my shoe. Okay, we don't want to... Okay, my shoe is now totally wet. So I think this is it for now. I might try coming back in the night to see roughly what the nightlife is like. My shoes are totally wet and soaking. Maybe there'll be some chance to get them to dry a little later. But I'm gonna sign out for now. So it is tonight now, and I'm also in Mielno, and it's about, I think about 11 p.m., a little bit afterwards. And we have the sunset of the, it's definitely past sunset, but I'll turn this around and show you. We're gonna walk through a little bit and just see kind of what the nightlife is like. Yeah, it's kind of reggae, exactly. So maybe there'll be some kind of interesting nightlife and some people doing some interesting things here. The clubs are still closed down, but I still think there's some activity going on here. So just to show without me in front of it, that's what it looks like. And mostly the beach is empty, but we have just a few people that are kind of sticking around here. So we're gonna go up there and see what sort of bars and other things we can find that are active. Really sure what that song was. Definitely not something we got in the US. Soundhound wasn't able to help me identify it either, so if anyone knows, please leave in the comments. I mean, that might have been the big party center. I'm gonna look around and see. Maybe there's something else. There's some random people walking around in general. I'm really curious to see how this night video turns out. You know, this is the first time really trying recording videos with the new phone at this time of night. The arcade games are definitely still up. I haven't seen so many bars. Like, honestly, there might be a bit more of a sort of dance club, sort of rave type scene here that's, you know, closed at the moment for obvious reasons. Like, one of the clubs had was advertising 2 DJs they had in residence. One I'd at least even heard of. So maybe that just could kind of kill the nightlife here, or at least compared to what it would normally be. But there's still these restaurants open. There's still a lot of seafood restaurants and everything. I think this is the same thing I found earlier. This thing with crazy eyes. I don't know. This is at a totally different restaurant. Maybe it's just like a standard thing to put this guy around here. There's a karaoke bar over there at least. So like, it's a Polish song, so I'm not quite as worried about copyright strike or something like that. But it's good because, like, I don't know. I kind of like karaoke, and I don't really see too much karaoke in Poland in general. To me, these are the things we saw earlier that are supposed to be here to protect in case there's a big storm or something, then water goes over. And it's really kind of hard to see this too well, how this looks in nighttime. But these are really kind of haunting. Kind of these sort of spiky things at night. And here's the sea over here and the waves. And just an empty beach. It's kind of nice. I think, like, I'm kind of getting the feel here right now that the nightlife is mostly just sort of scattered groups of people drinking by them, you know, with each other, Just kind of out, not as much based on bars, probably based on clubs other times of the year. So I think I've had enough for tonight in Mielno. So I think this kind of answers my question. We didn't really find too much nightlife. There was mostly, just kind of some random people walking around, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think, if you want to come here to party or something, maybe wait till the situation changes a little bit and the clubs reopen. But it was definitely nice to come during the day. The beach was nice. Sometimes the weather can be a little crazy, but and other times it's nice. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you found it interesting. And also I'm going to be trying to get to some of my backlog in like Czech Republic and especially Ukraine, which I thought was really interesting. But I still plan to do some traveling in Poland. So tentatively I'm thinking of going to Bydgoszcz, Torun, and maybe Warsaw and making a video. So comment if there's anywhere that you think would be interesting for me to see, or maybe something totally off the beaten path and crazy could be nice. So I'm going to head out and go to bed. So have a good night, everybody.